I started.
All right, everybody. Tonight we're going to start prepping our Publix Premium Rib Roast. All right. So first thing you got to do is you got to open it up for sure. Okay. So what we got here, we got a cookie sheet with a little baking and cooling rack set on top of it to keep our juices out of the bottom. Drip a little blood on the ground. That'll be all right. So this one here that I bought, it's already tied up. And I kind of wish that it wasn't, because, hey, come in here, Reese, let me show you this.
Dude, stop farting all over the food while
You see this fat layer right here? Right here, all this white? You really want to have that trimmed off when you're doing prime rib. I mean, yeah, it's just, you don't need all that extra fat. It does you no good. But since this one's already tied by the butcher where we bought it there at Publix, we're just going to let it be, okay? So then really, all we want to do now tonight in our preparation is sprinkle this with a little bit of salt. You could use kosher salt, you could use sea salt, just any sort of coarse salt is what you want to use. And what the salt's going to do, it's going to help lock in the moisture, okay? So you're just going to sprinkle this all around. You do it on all sides. We'll do it on this side. Are you getting this right here, Reese?
Yeah.
Okay. So just kind of sprinkle this salt all around. You pat it in a little bit. There we go. We'll do it on this side. Just going to shake some more in down here. Just going to pat that in. And see, this one's still got the ribs in it, which is okay. We don't mind the ribs in it. Preferably, we wouldn't want it. They are cut. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle a little salt down here behind the ribs. Kind of soak into that meat there a little bit. All over this end a little bit. There we go. Kind of rub all that in. Rub it in there. Okay, we're going to stand this thing up on its end here. Gonna shake it around a little bit there. You know what I actually might do, because I don't like the way the butcher wrapped this one. I might go ahead and cut these strings off and separate these ribs so I can trim some of that fat. So we'll stay tuned. We'll give it a little break while I determine. All right, good morning. We're back to put our final rub onto our prime rib before we smoke it later today. So if you'll see, I decided to go ahead and separate the bones off of the meat itself. I'm going to season these bones up, cook them separate.
That smells gross.
Some ribs. It does not. So, and I also went ahead and trimmed all the fat cap off of here. Get this nice lean piece of meat. So, what we've got this morning is we got our seasoning mix right here. A little ground pepper, a little basil, a little mustard powder, a little garlic, a little onion salt, and just a little other stuff. We're going to rub it in. We're going to use a little olive oil just to wet the meat a little bit so that our rub sticks to it really, really good. So we're just going to rub this in right here like that. Go ahead and rub this whole piece of meat. You don't need a whole lot. You just want enough for your seasoning to stick to it. That's the key. All this will help make a really nice bark once we do the sear on it. So, alright, so we got that there. Let's start shaking a little bit of our seasoning on here. There we go. Just kind of rub that in like so. Get all the ends. Get this side here. How's that looking, Reese?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's going to be a yummy dinner, huh?
No.
Mm-hmm. I know, totally not a fan of beef.
I like pizza way more.
Alright, so I think we got pretty much all ends here. We gotta get this side. Rub that in. And then we'll throw a little more back on this side since we got some extra mix here. No point in wasting it. So if you'll notice, I didn't put any salt into my rub because I'd pre-salted the meat last night. So you don't want to do salt overload, okay? All right, that piece is done. Now I'm gonna rub down these ribs. And for these, I'm just gonna use my my brisket rub, which is just a Dalmatian, salt and pepper, with just a hint of garlic added to it.
Oh, that smells bad.
It smells good. Salt and pepper. All right, perfect. So we're gonna let these chill in the fridge for another couple of hours, and probably about noon is when I'll get the pit fired up, 1 o'clock maybe, and I'll talk to you guys then. Thanks. All right, guys, well, now it's time to get the fire lit. So I use these little Weber fire starters. Just kind of throw them down there in the middle, get it lit up. Can knock a few coals around it. You don't want to smother it, but you want some coals close enough to get your fire going good. Got the bottom vent open. We're gonna cook today on my Acorn char griller. You guys with your $1,000 big green eggs can suck it, because this thing works pretty damn well, as you'll see shortly. All right, folks, we're about ready to put this meat on the pit there. We're up to just over 220, right about 220, which is good. I kind of plan on cooking this thing anywhere between about 225, 240. So we got our meat here. It's been out of the fridge for about an hour or so. You always want to let it kind of creep up to room temperature. You don't want to throw that cold meat right on your hot grill. So I got a little drip pan in here to make some gravy. So I diced up some onions, got a little garlic in there, some beef broth, and some pepper. So here's my utensils. Lift those over here. Alright, so let's throw this little rack of ribs on there. No clue how those are going to turn out, but we'll give it a shot. Alright. Put that right over our pan like that. Man, it looks good. Can't wait till this thing is done. There we go. And yeah, we're going to close the lid on this bad boy. We're going to bring it up to about 120 internal. And then we're going to take a gander, see what it looks like. Alright, everything's coming along nicely. I just had to throw a few slices of bacon on here, smoke a little bacon. If you haven't done it, it's fantastic. Also diced up some red potatoes that we're going to roast over the top here. Mixed some good stuff in with them, some more onion and garlic. And so we're up to about 100 degrees internal. So this thing's cooking nicely. We're going to keep it going. Alright, so we got up to 123 internal, which is a little hotter than I wanted to go, but we're going to roll with it. We're going to go ahead and pull this stuff off. Ended up with a lot of food on here. But alright, so we're going to pull this off. Hope my cable reaches. There we go. Alright, we're going to set that there to rest. Flip these ribs. Oh, these things are looking good. Oh, this bacon is starting to look really good. So we're gonna have to pull everything off here for just a second, and threw some more fresh bacon on there because I decided I wouldn't smoke it all. So we're gonna pull everything off. I'm gonna pull the flame deflector out of there, the heat deflector. We're gonna crank the heat up, and then we're gonna come back to sear this bad boy. So stay tuned. Alright, so we're bringing things up to temp here. I still got those ribs on there. I'm not quite sure how I want to cook those, but I'm just going to kind of keep cooking them until I feel like not cooking them. Wrapped up the bacon. The prime rib there has been kind of setting, resting for a second. Hasn't really lost much internal temp yet. It's at 125, so it's lost a degree or so. Fixing to throw it back on for the sear. So I'm going to kind of clean this up, get it out of the way. We really got them coals cranking, so we're going to get a good hot Just open the lid back up. Got grill temp up to about 550. So we're going to stand this bad boy up here and let the searing process begin. So these flames will be kicking in shortly now that I got the lid open. And we probably want to give this a good 2 to 3 minutes per side. We're going to do each end and sear it all the way around. So there we go, there's the flames. We'll check in a second. Alright, about halfway through this searing process. The fire is hot. Searing those edges up good. See this end here getting all crispy on the outside. Damn. All right, so the next section here is going to be inside. It's getting too hot to hold the phone and try to cook. So you'll see it inside when I slice it up here in a bit. A little gravy, a little asparagus, there's our taters, and there's all our bacon. And there's that prime rib fixing to slice in. Moment of truth. Let's see how this bad boy turned out. Ooh, look at that. What do you think, Jack?
Looks fantastic.
I think we got ourselves a winner, boys. Until next time, y'all enjoy.